prepare to put on your tinfoil hats. Tonight we're going to be talking with Glenn about his encounter with a skinwalker. If you had an experience that you would like to share, you can contact us at challengeunknown@gmail.com.
Tell us what happened, man. I know you got photos of it, so we'll get into all that. But yeah, just walk us through what happened.
I'm Glenn. I from Central Oregon. I'm 18, and yeah. So this happened this weekend. I was staying the night at a friend's house for his 17th birthday, and we were all just like, being kids while we can, and we were playing hide and seek on his 60 acres of land,
It's a lot of space.
and yeah, it's a ton, and basically we we were like an hour and a half into the game. It was like 2 in the morning, and me and my friend were Isaiah. We were together, and we were trying to find a hiding spot. He looks over, and then he looks back at me with and wide eyes, and he goes, "Did you see that?" I go, "Only thing I saw is the wind move the bush." And he goes, "No, something just jumped into that bush." And at this point, we both started to get creeped out because he doesn't lie. If he sees something, he saw it. So we go find everybody else. We group together. We start hearing screaming, banshee, like deafening screaming. And it sounded like someone was screaming their lungs. And like at the same time, there was water being poured down their lungs. It was like a gargle almost.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it was insane. And like the and earlier that day, he has chicken coops. There was one chicken, and it was his mom's favorite chicken. She would let him out, and like he would just explore. He was completely mutilated. And before this, I didn't know anything about skinwalkers or crawlers. And so this, freaked me out. But we assumed it was a coyote.
So this is all foreign to you at this point. You're not picking up on anything
Yeah,
that's out of the ordinary.
no, this was during the daytime. We found it was actually in the morning. We found the chicken, and he was like right in front of our house. So we assumed it was a coyote because he has like wild coyotes out there.
Right.
And yeah, we just like uh lived the rest of the day off. And then that's when the weird stuff started happening. And so after we heard that scream, we were like, okay, that's not like coyote, it's not a mountain lion. That's something else. So I tell my friend, I'm like, whip out your phone real quick, and I go, shut off everybody's flash. And he whips out his phone. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna shine my flash in 3 seconds, and you take a picture when I shine my flash. He was like, okay. So I go 1, 2, 3. He snaps a photo. I think we did that twice. Could have been 3 times. And we looked at the photo and we didn't really see anything. So we just played the rest of the night for probably like 30 minutes. And we went back inside and we started to look at the photos again. And I noticed something. I was like, whoa, look at that, dude. And I zoomed in. And there's the clearest picture I've seen in a long time of a skinwalker like animal, crawler. You could see its face features, you could see the way it's bending and everything.
Yeah, I saw the photo, man. It's pretty freaky. It's got that white coloration to it, like its skin or whatever is like almost eye shine reflecting from the light.
Exactly. And everybody's saying it's a plant, like on Reddit. And but the plant, if you look at the plant in the foreground, like right in the middle of the picture, it's not that white.
No, in the second photo, you got a second photo of the same area, and whatever was there wasn't there in the second photo.
Yeah, and so that proves that it wasn't like a bush or anything. And so yeah, and then I also learned that like the caves, there's a ton, and I mean a ton of caves around where this guy lives. It's like thousands of acres on his property, and or not his property. His property's 60 acres, but there's like thousands of acres beyond his property,
Right, so
and
like
there's caves.
undeveloped areas.
Yeah, and there's caves everywhere. A few other things we got. This was yesterday, I think. He texted me and he was, bro, my grandma just told me that the night we were out, she saw like a dude, um, like crawling on her back porch, which, mind you, is
What?
right in front of the picture. It's right where we took the picture. And when he told me that, it gave me chills. He sent me a screenshot of it, of his grandma saying that. And because his grandma and his parents live in the same, like 60 acres.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly where the picture was taken.
So whatever it was in the same area.
Yeah, it was, and she said it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, which, mind you, was like 30, maybe 45 to an hour minutes after we left.
So you believe that it's a skinwalker, correct?
Um, I'm not too like um educated about these kinds of things, so I don't know what it is. All I know is that it was white, it had 4 limbs, it walked on all of them,
So
and it's go ahead.
I was going to say, Stackhouse knows a lot more about skinwalkers than I do, so maybe he can provide some insight as to the the common descriptions of them.
Well, one of the things that I want to touch base on and ask is, when you saw this thing, how long did you see it for? Like, did you actually get
It
to
was
see it?
probably, yeah, I saw it. It was afterwards, after we took the picture.
Hmm.
It it was like his arms bended both ways, and that's probably what like made my stomach turn the most, because when we were, because we booked it the fuck out of there, dude. We were gone when we saw it, and it was only me and my friend Isaiah who saw it. We were like continuing the game, right? And we were
Right.
going by that spot, and I was running away from this kid. He's super tall, super fast. So I was running super fast. I ran directly into the barbed wire, but luckily it wasn't
Ooh.
very sharp. So I only got cut like, somewhere on my stomach. And I look up. He's not even like 20, 30 feet away from me, sitting on a rock, looking at me. And like, I don't want to be too cliche, but I swear it had glowing eyes. But they weren't orange like everybody says. They were like a bright yellow.
Hmm.
Do you remember? Yeah, what's his face? Ah, shoot, I'm gonna Zaid Ziad. I'm butchering his name. The guy we had on from the Pennsylvania Skinwalker episode. He described glowing eyes as well.
Yeah, I watched that one. Yeah, it gave me chills when he said that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm really curious about because he had a lot of very similar points that you're talking about here, where it's just these weird body mechanics.
Yeah, like, but didn't he say that it didn't have any arms?
That's correct. He said his didn't have any arms, but keep in mind, skinwalkers are considered to
Yeah,
be shapeshifters, so
yeah,
I assume that they have a lot of different forms, and they've been described by so many different people. I've talked
yeah,
to quite a few skinwalker people off the air, and a lot of them have described the same general creature with minor differences, like, and then the shapeshifter theory
yeah,
goes into all of that and supports that. So, but there's a lot of consistencies with it, like the glowing eyes and the humanoid and weird body proportions.
yeah. The only reason I know the arms bent the other way is because he had them like inverted, but it looked like he didn't. But you could tell because his hands were like his fingertips were touching each other. He was like on this rock. I only got to saw like the bottom half, and I saw the glowing eyes from like in the dark before I booked it the fuck out of there.
So,
Oh,
so just to clarify with your chain of events here. So what happened was you guys were playing out on the property. You guys, one of your friends saw it, and then you guys snapped the photos. Didn't know you caught anything. Continued to play for about 30 minutes, and that's when you had your encounter with it.
yeah, and we went home and re-looked at the photos.
That's gotta give you chills. But I mean, it's verifying that you actually caught something on camera though, because that would just mess with me for a really long time if I didn't catch something.
Yeah, and like it, what bothers me the most is that it was just sitting there looking at us, and we had no clue it was there. And also, I noticed in the picture the eyes don't shine like they did.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder why that is.
Me too.
There's a lot of mystery
Like,
around skinwalkers, man.
hmm it was just a very odd experience.
Yeah,
We
people.
woke up the next morning and we like vowed to never tell anybody that we know because they're gonna think we're crazy.
Man, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, and that's why we actually started this show was because we wanted a place where people could come and tell their stories. And like Dane, what's your phrase that you told him before we started?
You mean the whole just because it's unknown doesn't mean it's unnatural?
No, it's your story.
Oh yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
your story, and we're not here to judge. We're here to listen because your experience is yours, and
yeah,
we can't really tell you otherwise because we weren't there.
Right. And it's,
yeah.
it's your experience and nobody else's. So that's why
Well,
I
it
like
was mine.
exactly.
Yeah, it was mine and three other people.
So yeah,
Like,
you have more people with you. It's not a solo experience.
yeah,
It's a
and so
group.
we know we're not crazy.
Um, so with the first picture, the one where you actually captured the skinwalker, we'll call it. I've opened it up and I've zoomed in about 500%. So people are saying in the Reddit comments that it's photoshopped or you
hmm
know things of the sorts. But when you zoom into the picture, obviously everything's to be very pixelated because it's taken off a phone camera. It's not like some crazy
Yeah,
professional camera. But when things are typically photoshopped, at least to my knowledge, um, whatever's being photoshopped in is a bit more clear than what is there naturally,
yeah,
and the pixelation is extremely consistent. So
yeah. I don't even know how to, like operate my phone properly. I think
mm,
he said that in one of the comments because that was his post, and I was looking at him, and he was like, I don't even know how to operate my phone properly. It's like, yet alone Photoshop, because
Dude,
he was the one that took the photo.
yeah.
mhm.
But I just shined my flash.
Dude, Photoshop is expensive nowadays. Photoshop today, you can't just buy it like you used to be able to, because before you could just buy like buy the 2015 Photoshop version and it's a disk and you put it on your computer or you download the program and then it's yours. Now it's like a subscription fee. Like it's $30 a month to have Photoshop now. It's insane.
That's a
Yeah,
bit
it's
much.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like really expensive. It's like overly expensive. But
Yeah, yeah,
so, and then it's definitely something that you really have to fine tune. Like it's very an in-depth program that you really have to understand.
yeah.
But I'm not seeing any indicators that this has been manipulated.
Have you ever seen any manipulators? I mean,
Manipulators, manipulations.
We've
yeah. Have you ever seen any?
we've seen
There's plenty.
like videos and stuff that are like clearly faked and staged and stuff like that, where
Yeah,
it's like there's just so many imperfections and it's so volatile and stuff where you can just tell that it was faked.
yeah. I
Um,
was when I was researching, I watched this video and it was clearly a dude in a bodysuit. He was just like crawling, and it was kind of funny because it wasn't even the right color. It was like a silver.
Yeah, there are a lot of dead giveaways when you look at things like that. Like obviously the super shaky cam videos where you
Yeah,
only get minor glimpses, and even then you could tell that it's like some dude in a suit or
yeah.
There was one that actually almost got you and I, Dane. Do you remember?
yeah.
It
I forget
was
exactly what it was.
it was the MOA one where they were talking about the extinct bird and someone claimed to have caught it on camera.
Hmm.
And we were looking at it and we were going over it over and over and over again. And we were like, man, that thing is like, it's clear. You can see the body of the animal. It's big. Um, there's trees for size reference. And you can tell that it's a giant bird. And it looked real. Like, it looked really real. And we were going over it and over it and over it. But there's about like 1/8 of a second where you can see the dude who's actually in the suit. You could see his shoe,
Oh my
I
god.
remember that.
but
Yeah.
it looked good. Like if that shoe wasn't in there, I'd have bought it. I'd 100% bought it.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
yeah, continue.
yeah, trying to think what else happened. It's all just kind of a okay. So before we saw anything, this is when we first started the game. We were, me and my friend were counting in his barn, or not in it, but like on the steps to it. And we heard the door on the other side of the barn open and close. And we were like, oh, okay. They just went in there. And then so we go in there, right? And we get done counting, we go to the other side and we open it and we're flashing our lights, we don't see anything. And we flash it up and we see what we thought was one of the players jumping up into the top of the barn because it's a 2-floor barn.
Hmm.
And we were like, what the hell? Like, how did he just do that? And so we go and run around the other side. We go up there and he's gone. And so we thought he ran down the stairs. But I'm not sure if that was him or not. I haven't asked him yet, or any of them yet. But it was an insanely high jump. And there was nothing he could have, like, jumped onto and up on. I don't know. It was really weird.
Hmm. It's one of those things where it's something that sticks out in your mind, but you're really not too sure about it.
Yeah, I'm like, it totally, it could have been him. But like the fact that it was so fast and
Seems out of place to me.
it just seemed totally out of place. And we're not even allowed in the barn because there's so many like saws and um like there's a chainsaw in there and then there's like super expensive old cars and we're not allowed in
Hmm.
there. And none of us went in there, but or at least I don't think, but we went in there because we thought we heard someone.
Right. Man, that's freaky. So
Yeah,
tell me about the
we brushed
screams,
it off.
man.
Oh, the screams. Every time I talk about them, I start getting shaky. Um, they were loud and deafening, like holy shit. Like, um, if I'm trying to think of something to compare it
How long did the screams last? Why don't you start with that?
to, they're probably like 3, 4, 5 seconds. They're on the shorter end.
Okay.
Some of them were only like maybe 2 seconds.
Like real quick sounds.
Yeah, but they were like crescendoing. You know what that means, right?
No.
It's sorry, it's a band term. It's where like it progressively gets louder until it stops.
Mm.
Okay, that
And
makes
it was
sense.
like, yeah, it was deafening loud. And we we assumed that there was a coyote like 6 feet away from us, so we kind of just like left. But we we that's I think we only heard it twice. We heard it once. Yeah, we heard it twice. And then the other time it was even louder and like it made me want to cover my ears. Like it sounded um like as if you're standing right next to a motorcycle, like a really loud one, and you started it. I didn't connect it until I was watching videos. Just look up a Skinwalker scream. He's like It's taken on a phone. It's like the first one that pops up.
Dane,
So,
you on that one?
yeah, I'm already on it.
Right
So
on.
you say that it lasted a few seconds. So just in case there are other people like me, when someone says a few seconds, I consider a second a one Mississippi, two Mississippi. You know, while other
Probably a
people
little
might
bit
just go
shorter.
1, 2, 3. You know.
Well, I go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Like,
So it's a little on the shorter side. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. And
yeah,
that's about how long it was.
yeah. Basically, God, I'm shaking. I couldn't sleep at all last night or the night before that.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you came on because I think it's really important that people talk about these things openly so that way other people that have experienced it that are so closed off from it know that they're not insane.
But like the next day, I was like, and I was super curious. I basically looked up the description and I found a Skinwalker. I was like, no way.
Oh yeah, man, people talk about them all the time, man. Them and crawlers. They're something
Yeah,
that I've talked to a lot of people about at this point.
and like
It's
it
weird.
wasn't just scary. It was like a night terror. It didn't feel real, but at the same time, it was terrifying. I
So
like,
I just watched the video that you said Skinwalker scream caught on the camera. It's the phone handheld. The
yeah,
second it starts screaming, my entire body, every single hair stands up, goosebumps all down the arms.
Hit me with
So
that, Dane.
yeah.
I wanna get in the I wanna play it for the viewers.
okay, so when you play it for the viewers, go ahead and start at 58 seconds.
58 seconds, you got it.
Okay, it's being posted in encrypted updates right now.
My legs shaking, my neck.
So it almost makes you feel like really nervous to listen to it.
No, it just makes me nervous to think about it.
Okay.
Like think about what happened. Like if I'm sure if we didn't go back inside, like because you guys remember when I said his grandma saw it on the porch.
Yeah.
Yes.
What if like we were still out there,
Yeah.
you know? And the dude we were with, his little brother and sister, who are
Hmm.
like I think 9 and 5,
Oh
were out there
God.
with us. But when me and Isaiah saw it, we told him to go inside. But like I can only imagine what happens if we didn't.
I
It's probably a smart
personally
call.
I haven't heard of any accounts of like people being attacked by such things.
Yeah, me neither. But like
It's
the
still
chicken,
always a possibility.
I'm kind of like bummed I didn't take a picture of the chicken because I thought it was a normal coyote. Like,
Right.
but it was like annihilated. Like, and it didn't look like it was eaten either. It just looked like
It was
it
ripped
killed it.
apart.
It was
Yeah,
attacked.
it was attacked. And like the way it looked like he like grabbed it from behind or it and just like tore it in pieces.
Hmm.
That's really
And I'm not
weird.
kidding when this thing was like mutilated. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, animals need a reason to kill. Generally, it's food motivated, and if it's food motivated, they're gonna eat it. And generally, all you find is some blood and feathers and maybe some skin left behind. Um,
Yeah,
so that's really, really interesting.
yeah.
But you said like pretty much the whole body was left behind.
Pretty much. I think the only things that I don't remember seeing were like feathers.
Oh, okay.
Because when you just said feathers, I was like, oh shit, I did not see like a single feather.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I
So like
really
all the
really wish I
feathers were
took a
missing,
picture.
or like there just weren't feathers scattered all over the place.
I can't really remember. They very well could have been scattered, but
Bizarre.
I don't remember. There was like one, two, maybe three on the body.
Man, that thing, for there to only be a couple on the body still, that thing had to have been absolutely like decimated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it a whole body or was it almost scattered all over the place?
it was like scattered. I mean, there was like parts of this. There was like half of its head, like 5, 6 feet away from the rest of its body, and like its leg was like it was torn off like a chicken leg, like you would see at KFC,
Oh wow.
and it was just like thrown to the side. It kind of looked like the coyote was like what I was thinking at the time. It looked like it was playing with it.
Weird. That's really
And
weird.
I didn't connect it until I was on Reddit and I followed or saw Skinwalker, and I saw the story of this guy whose chickens were all just mutilated, and like I didn't connect it until then. It was literally earlier today.
Hmm.
See, initially, if I were to encounter something like that, especially living in Oregon, is I'm not sure mountain lions are known to attack chickens. Of course, they very well might if they're hungry enough. But
They
more
wouldn't
of like
leave the body
coyotes and
behind, though.
foxes, yeah, they wouldn't do that. Or if they did, they would have eaten their fill and then left.
Yeah, it was terrifying to the least. Like it still makes me shiver. Still gives me goosebumps.
If it was a big cat kill, the cat would have killed it. The only thing you would have ever found was feathers and blood. Maybe a
Yeah.
Yeah,
chunk or something behind, but I mean, it would have taken the whole carcass.
yeah.
Oh, man,
Can
that's
imagine that.
freaky. Let me listen to that clip real quick. Man, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck. Man, that's
and like
creepy.
if I saw that before my encounter, I would not believe it at all. But now
You've heard it.
I've heard it myself, and I've been terrified by it myself. It's just, you know, like I was thought seeing something like Bigfoot or like
Hmm.
an urban legend like that would be odd, but just terrifying.
Yeah, man. So, are you familiar with the missing 411 cases?
No.
So, long story short, very brief. The viewers have heard me tell this story 1,000 times, but I highly recommend you listen to them. But there's an ex-detective who discovered that there's this slew of missing persons cases in national parks and national forests. And it's real
Mm.
shady with the Park Service and stuff, trying to basically cover it up. And there's a lot of people that have gone missing under really weird circumstances out in these national parks and stuff. And you can listen to some of his interviews and he goes over some of the cases, and it's just absolutely insane. It's all real. And
That's crazy.
I wonder if there's a lot of theories behind what it is that's killing these people, and taking them, because like some of the stuff, man, like it's bizarre. Like kids go missing, they come over an area like 5 or 6 times. Next thing I know, right where they've like right in the middle of the pathway, there's the kid's body and it's untouched after like 5 days of heavy rain, and his shoes are
Oh, that's
missing, and it's like it's just weird stuff like that. And
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, it makes me wonder what out there is taking these people. And like some of them are
Actually,
like avid hunters, like professional trackers, like park rangers, stuff like
wow.
that are going missing.
I actually read this story once. Not sure if it's real or not, but there was this Russian, I think it was Russian case of these people who went hiking out on a like a mountain, but
I
it
know
was like
exactly what
super
you're talking
snowy.
about.
The Yeti.
Yep, a lot of people think it's a Yeti killing.
Yeah,
I've never
the
heard this
tongues were
story.
ripped out and like I don't know. That gives me the goosebumps.
We talked about it with Charlie briefly.
Oh, did you
Oh,
really?
Yeah, episode 13. We very briefly touched on the subject. She brought it up because it was something that interested her. Let me look it up. I think it's called.
I actually really like your guys' podcast.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Hmm.
Devil's
appreciate
Pass.
it.
It's Devil's Pass. That's the thing you're referring to. It's the Devil's Pass encounter. where
Ooh,
only
that
one
one
hiker
looks.
came back. There were all these hikers that went out onto this mountain hiking trip, and it was,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
snow, and one of them got injured during the trip and had to turn back, and they basically sent him back, and everybody else that was on that trip died. Really weird circumstances. They
That's
found their
crazy.
bodies out on the mountains, and like they had like something had cut its way into the tent and stuff, and they had scrambled out, and they had all taken their clothes off, and like just really weird like body mutilation stuff. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of theories behind it, but the most popular one that I've heard is the Yeti. Is people think it was a Yeti killing.
Yeah. Yeah. The
So I
one you
just looked
just
it up.
posted.
Oh, go ahead.
The one you just posted looks super interesting.
Oh,
The,
the episode I just put
the
up.
yeah.
Yeah, that's that one's really good. It's about an hour long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
I
long ago
recommend
did you
that one.
put that up?
What
That
were you
was
saying, Dane?
today. That was today.
Yeah, it went up literally an hour
Oh.
before we started.
Oh, I was watching episode 13, and when you guys called.
Oh. Um. So I'm looked up Devil's Pass incident. And apparently, they actually have a movie about it.
Yeah, they do. It's one of those like self-documentary first-person movies.
Yeah. Just from the pictures, it looks like they're skinwalkers or something.
Oh,
Almost
dude, it
like
was weird. They did a weird
just.
spin on the movie. It was like some time travel shit. I've seen it.
You know that
Mm.
one game? It's a story driven. You kind of like make the characters' choices. It's a horror game. I forget what it's called.
Walking Dead?
Not The Walking Dead.
No.
Similar vibes, but those things that are in the images for the movie almost look like skinwalkers as well.
You know what
Except
Skinwalkers remind me of?
Hmm.
Have you seen the movie Descent from 2005?
I haven't seen it,
I've seen
but
that
I've
one.
seen clips.
That's exactly what they remind me of.
It's almost like mutated humanoids that
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
deprived of one thing or another. In this case, it was not leaving the caves for many years, so they've mutated.
Do you guys think you could give me some like more information on Skinwalkers, like where they came from?
Oh yeah, I
Um,
got you. So
Thank you.
skinwalkers are the lore behind them. Original lore is it's Native American, Navajo in particular.
Oh,
And
wait, hold on. Okay, sorry to
yeah, you're good.
interrupt
Go
you,
ahead.
but I remember something. His grandma said a few days before this happened that where they live used to be a Indian campground where they would stay and continue moving, and a lot of them died there. Yeah, we thought that was super interesting.
I would have
Yeah,
that.
it's all
That
coming
might have some
together.
correlation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly. But
As you were
yeah.
saying, Stekos.
yeah, so going back to the lore behind skinwalkers, they have a name for it in their language, but I'm not even gonna try and pronounce it to you. But basically, what it translates to is it goes on all fours. Is literally what it translates to.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Um, so basically, they're not really well understood outside of their culture because they don't talk about it outside of, inner circle tribes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, there's this belief that by talking about it, it could make things worse. Like people who live on a property and are experiencing skinwalker stuff, there's a lot of people say that things will get worse if they talk openly about it. So there's a lot of fear behind that. But skinwalkers are also they're believed to be witches. So in Navajo culture, there's healers and then there's witches. They're separated. They separate those two. So healers are considered to be good, shamans and stuff and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. And then there's witches, which are, they do bad things, is their understanding of them. And basically what they believe is that these Skinwalker creatures that they're seeing are witches. So that's pretty much all there is in terms of like the origins. That's the only really origin stuff that you can find on them.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It means a lot.
Yeah, man,
course.
for sure. And like if you see this thing again, or any of your friends see this thing again, tell them to touch base with us. And I mean, you're gonna always have access to this Discord, so you can always post updates in
Alright,
here and
cool.
stuff for it. And you'll always have my
Yeah,
phone
I'm
number
going
too.
back there next weekend.
Bring a camera with you,
So
man. Make sure you got
yeah,
something to
I'm
record with.
charging my phone 100. I'm bringing a flashlight.
You're
And
gonna be ready this time.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
but you got that picture, man. So always hang on
Yeah,
to that, and
I got
always remember
proof.
what you saw that night. Don't ever forget about it.
Yeah, I don't
'Cause
think I can.
there's other people that have seen it too, man. You're not alone out there.